There are lots of different ways that you can draw sigils. Today, I'm going to teach you two of the most common ways. I think these two are the easiest to start out with. They're the two that I learned with. You can choose which one you prefer, and you can experiment with both of them. And if you find that sigil drawing is something that you enjoy, you can Google all sorts of other methods. There are templates online that you can download and all sorts of complex ways that you can draw them. But for today, we're going to start with some simple basics. What you're going to need are some sheets of paper, pen or pencil of your choice, and something round to trace. No matter what method you use to draw sigils, the first thing that you want to do is write down whatever the word or phrase is that you want to make a sigil for. So we're going to start with the phrase, I am magical. Once you write down the phrase that you want to use, you go through and you cross out the vowels. So you get rid of the I and the A and the A, I and the A. Then you look and see if there are any duplicate consonants. We have two M's, so you cross out one of the M's, and you are left with M, G, C, and L. These letters are going to be the shapes that you use to create your sigil. So you can start with your M, and then you can add the L wherever you want. I'm going to add it right here because we already have a straight line, a vertical line, so the L goes right there naturally. Then you can add the G and the C, which are more curved. I'm going to put the C up here and the G down here. Now you have a whole new shape, and this shape is your sigil. Once you have that, you can go over and thicken the lines. You can use a thicker pen if you'd like to make it easier. You can use a calligraphy pen if you want to make it fancier, have some thicker and thinner spots. When you're tracing the lines and making them thicker, you can also make them so that they're less like the original letters. And as you do that, the letters disappear and more of a shape shows up. And you can leave it like this and use this as your sigil, or you can get a little bit more creative with it. You might want a little bit more flourish or a little bit more weaviness to the lines, so you can redraw it. Let's say make the C a little curvier, make the M a little fancier. You can attach the tail of the L like this. And you can give your G a little extra curl to it on both ends if you want. And then once again, you can go through, make the lines thicker. Don't want to be worried about perfection when you're drawing sigils. What matters is that you are putting your intention into the drawing. You have the energy of the words and the energy of your intention, creating your unique symbol. So you can keep redrawing your sigil as many times as you want till it looks exactly like you want it to look. You can add little flourishes at the ends. You like that better? You can make your lines curve in different ways. You can do anything that you want. And once it's exactly how you want it to be, then you can trace it onto other pieces of paper You can etch it into a candle. You can put it on a piece of tape and stick it to your water bottle. All sorts of ways that you can use your sigils. You can be as creative as you want because these should be personalized to exactly how you feel it should look. Another common way to draw sigils is to use the alphabet around a circle. So take your lid, place it down, and just trace around the edge. Again, this does not need to be perfect. Pretty sure mine won't be perfect. You just need some kind of circular shape as your guide. And then you mark it like it's the face of the clock. So you mark 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and 9 o'clock. And at 12 o'clock, you put the letter A. And at 6 o'clock, you put the letter N. 3 o'clock, the H. And 9 o'clock, it's a U. This is not going to be perfectly evenly spaced, and that's okay. You just want to fill in all the letters as you go around the circle. So we have A, B, C, D, E, F, G. H is already there. I, J, K, L, M. The N is already there. O, P, Q, R, S, T, U is already there. V, W, X, Y, Z. Once you have your whole alphabet around the circle, you're ready to begin. If you don't want to have to draw this multiple times, you can tape this sheet of paper to a window and let the light shining through the window turn it into like a drawing board. Put your other sheet of paper over it, and then you can draw your sigil on it and reuse this same base as many times as you want. Now, when you get ready to draw your sigil, you're going to write your phrase just like we did last time. So this time, let's do the phrase, good health. So again, you go through and you cross out your vowels. You look for any duplicating consonants, and there are two H's. So cross out an H, and you are left with G, D, L, T, H. You start with the first letter, and you find the G on your wheel, and you put a circle where the G is. And you connect the G to the D with a line. And you connect the D to the L with a line, the L to the T, and the T to the H. Now, this is the basic shape of your sigil. You can copy that over freehand. Again, don't worry about perfection. You have all of the different points here, and those represent the letters. So you just want to stay similar. So you start with your dot, and you go up to the D, down to the L, across to the T, across to the H. And usually at your end point, you put a little vertical line just to indicate that it is ended there. So this is fairly straight lines. You can try it again with curved lines. Same thing. Curved line up to the top, curved line down to the bottom, curved line out to the side, curved line back across. And if you don't like how that looks, or you want to just experiment some more, try again. Curve your lines a different way. You can keep doing this as many times as you want, in as many different ways as you want. Mix curved and straight. As long as you have all of the same points that you are connecting, it's the same sigil. Once you get it to look how you want, you can make it bigger, you can make it smaller. You can use a thicker marker to trace it to make the lines thicker. You can use a calligraphy pen. You can use a thinner pen to make more designs on it. You can color in the background. And again, you can trace it onto anything that you would like to put it on. Or you can just cut out the individual piece, stick it in your wallet, put it in your purse, put it in your pocket, put it under your pillow, put it under your water glass. There are millions of different ways that you can use sigils. What matters is making it personal. Actually, that's why I have the crystals around the table and a candle. You can have crystals, a candle, a favorite figurine or a statue. You can use herbs or teas or anything that you want to create the mood, because all of that will help you to infuse your sigil with the energies of your choosing. Now that we have that, I'm just going to draw this one more time. Give you all a chance to draw it with me if you didn't the first time. You have your circle. You mark the times on your clock. A, N, H, U, and then you just fill it in with the alphabet. I'm going to leave this up on the screen so that you can draw your own, and then you can create any sigil you choose.